Ethiopian Prime Minister rebuked his senior military generals at a meeting held 3 days ago in Ethiopia. What happened? Why isn't the Prime Minister happy with the generals? He accused generals. What type of accusations were leveled by him against the generals? Is he coercing the generals to fall in line, to obey his orders about maybe starting a new conflict? What did he say at the meeting? Welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching. In the last few days, we saw a flurry of engagements between Ethiopian Prime Minister and ENDF, Ethiopian National Defense Force generals. Ethiopian Prime Minister visited a drone manufacturing site. Abiy factory was visited by the Ethiopian PM. He visited airbase headquarters of the Ethiopian Air Force. Then he held a meeting with senior military officers. That meeting was attended by top brass of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Pictures came out. A statement was issued by the Prime Minister. Meeting was unusual. I mean, it happened, I think, 2 days ago before the inauguration of the dam. Why did it happen? So I questioned, if you remember, when I did a video about the meeting, I said there was something unusual happening. The meeting was attended by General Birhanu Jula, Field Marshal, the military chief. Secondly, Abiy Ahmed was there, Deputy Chief of Staff of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Other senior ENDF officers were there too. What did the Prime Minister say? Firstly, the Prime Minister accused military generals of selling contraband products. Accused the generals of being involved in smuggling, which, by the way, is not a revelation, because when USAID and World Food Program suspended supply of aid to Ethiopia over a year ago, the two accused generals and government officials of running smuggling networks. The aid being supplied by USAID and World Bank was being smuggled out of Ethiopia, and it was being sold in open markets in Ethiopia. Tigrayan leaders were also involved. That is why USAID and World Food Program suspended aid delivery to Tigray. ENDF is in charge of borders in Ethiopia. Border crossings are controlled by the Ethiopian National Defense Force. So smuggling cannot happen without involvement, without support of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Whether smuggling is through Sudan, through Kenya, through South Sudan, through Eritrea, through Djibouti, it can only happen if the border guards are on board, and border guards are ENDF officers. In Tigray, there's a different story. Smuggling, basically, it's cross-border trade, but Tigray government says it's smuggling. It's cross-border trade happening there between Tigrayan and Eritrean sites. So firstly, the Prime Minister accused the generals of making money through selling smuggled products. The question is, if Prime Minister of a country receives information that his generals are involved in corrupt practices, what should he do? Should he hold a meeting and just rebuke them? Or should he take action? If the Prime Minister is not taking action, there are two reasons. Either uh, only a few are involved, it's not a big issue, or the Prime Minister is weak, majority of the channels is involved, PM knows that if he starts taking action, the institution could respond, majority of channels could rebel. There could be a third possibility too. Maybe the Prime Minister wants to coerce the channels into falling in line to obey Prime Minister's orders. That is why he is in a way blackmailing the channels. There are three possibilities. He went on to talk about Ethiopian enemies. In that meeting, addressing the channels, he said, Ethiopia has 5 enemies: Eritrea, Egypt, Ola, Fano, and TPLF. Military soldiers should fight these enemies, but the soldiers, the generals are making money involved in smuggling. And he announced at the meeting, he said, I will defeat these 5 enemies. I will defeat them, I'm sure, because God will help me. And I will use technology to defeat these 5 enemies. Which technology? Obviously, he meant new types of weaponry. He meant use of drones. He meant use of the services of cyber security agency. This is what he meant. And he said, I will defeat these 5 Ethiopian enemies. And it will be a shame for you, shame for those who are involved in corrupt practices. So the Prime Minister is hell-bent on crushing these 5 enemies. Direct confrontation against Egypt, not likely. Direct confrontation against Eritrea, very likely. Ola, already target of a military operation. Fano, again, a target of military operation. TPLF is gradually being encircled too. TPF is being armed to encircle TPLF. So yes, Abiy is fully focused. He wants to take on the 5 enemies which he mentioned in that meeting. What about channels? Will they obey Ethiopian PM's orders? Some people say, Sajid, these Ethiopian channels are fed up with war. They've been fighting since 2020. Internal wars are not ending, and internal wars, civil wars, are more tense and tiring than external wars, because in internal wars, your bravery is not acknowledged. Rather, your own people start hating you. So it's a different type of atmosphere in which you operate internally as a military. The generals, I don't think, are fed up with the wars in Ethiopia. Wars always make channels influential. If there are no wars, channels won't have any significance in Ethiopia. Security issues, conflicts make security forces relevant and influential players in a country. So wherever militaries are strong, there are security issues too, internal or external, and they want these issues to continue to ensure that they are relevant, that they're part of decision making in the country. And by the way, who is dying? How many generals died? How many lieutenant generals, major generals, brigadier generals died in the last 5 years? I am not aware of any death. So those who are dying are soldiers. Up to the ranks of major, I would say, people die. Soldiers die. Those in top positions in the military, in air force, in navy, just make plans, they execute plans, but they are not direct victims of the security issues in Ethiopia. That is why I believe that the generals would like the conflict to continue in Ethiopia, internal or external. Generals are talking about sea access, they're talking about Ethiopian foreign policy. Why are they speaking out about political issues? Because the government depends on them, because without them, government cannot survive. Without their support, Amhara regional government cannot survive. Without their support, Oromia government will find it difficult to counter Ola. So generals know their significance, and that is why they commit excesses. They make money. They're involved in corrupt practices. But ideally, I don't think generals would mind starting a new conflict in Ethiopia or between Ethiopia and a neighboring country. Thanks for watching.